could actually exist on one income.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to keep going to a job that's keeping you sick week in, week out, that is affecting your mental health. It's not worthwhile, right? And it was a big, big decision. She's not covered some of the ones that are big for me. We'd been married for almost 10 years by that time. We hadn't gone on our honeymoon.
Yes, we had it.
Because we didn't think it was feasible. Or rather, because we were not communicating, right? I know she wanted to go on honeymoon, right? For me, I always thought there were other more important things, right? Then we come together, we start talking about these things, and then the realization that, hold on a second.
We robbed ourselves of a honeymoon.
Here are some things that actually money can enable us to do if we just speak the same language. So we did do the honeymoon out of the country, went to Dubai.
Yeah.
And, best 8 days of my life.
And I must tell you, those days, she would have easily told me, we don't have money for this.
Yes.
She had already convinced herself that that was not. In fact, because Vera is like that. Vera makes peace with things. Like,
it is
what it is, right? But then she stays in a state of sadness as a result of those compromises.
Yeah.
And so keep in mind, me, I'm the one who is not afraid to spend, right? So when I brought that to the table, it created that possibility that we can go on honeymoon. Like, we actually can. And we did it because now she was also sort of strengthening her muscle of, yes, we can keep saving but let's also allow ourselves to live. The other big thing that she missed out on was we cleared our unhealthy debts.
Yes.
In 3 years.
Are debt-free.
I'm talking millions.
I know.
It's not a few 100,000s.
You can mention the millions.
Yeah, it
was. Feel free to mention it.
We had accumulated debts worth 10 million Kenya shillings.
Of unhealthy debt.
Of unhealthy debt from a failed business venture. And we had agreed to service that debt and really solicited goodwill from the creditors who were on our necks. And yes, I'd built resentment about that, but then I had come to make peace with it. I was like, okay, if we can send 10K per month, tulijikaza, you people, we kazad ourselves. But when we started the journey, we were like, wait a minute, it is possible to fast track this debt. And so, I
keep saying that was serious discipline.
Yes.
It was.
We sacrificed.
We had the help, right? Yeah. We had the help, Sheba, because by ourselves, if we were not doing those sessions where because we had the tracker. Remember, we had each of the debt lines, right?
Yes.
And it would be, okay, so which one is attracting the highest interest? Let's tackle that and then keep going. And just seeing, every month, that 50, that 100, whatever it is that was going down. And then one is struck off the list. And you're like, oh yeah, we can actually pay this thing off, right?
Yes.
And it's like we were getting bolder and bolder year in, year out. That it's actually, when you're sitting in your own cocoon, you look at this mountain.
It's a big mountain.
And you're like, what? Oh my God, what are we going to do?
And to remind you, there was a time for you're just like, we can extend it as long as.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had made peace with that. I knew I was going to be paying people off for the next 20 years.
It was robbing you of a peace and joy that you had not really thought about.
Yeah.
But interestingly is, as we were getting bolder in paying that debt, we had just started building.
Yeah.
And so we made so many sacrifices in between because, no, this journey is not easy. Yeah. No, opening up to a coach and say, these are my shenanigans with money is not easy. To allow yourself to change that mindset and to take brave, bold steps is not easy. But partnership with God, partnership with each other, partnership with your coach, makes it so much worthwhile.
Yeah.
For us to sit here in our own home debt-free in 3 years is an act of God.
Yes.
It truly is deliverance.
Yes.
To be able to sit and talk about money without breaking down, to be able to say, babe, I messed up and not feel judged, to be able to say, no, hapa, hiyo, najua tulikuwa tumesema we are saving, but we can give ourselves a trip. We can go on a date.
Yeah.
It's so much more joyous. Like the existence is joyful. Yes. To say, kuna sale, na najua tulikuwa tumeweka 10K kando, it's a good use of money to be able to upgrade the kids' bedroom, the lifestyle of XYZ, send mom some money because she needed something. It's such a blessing to be able to sit and say, yo, when you look at our books, we are starting, but we're starting with God. We're starting from a place of clarity. We're starting and journeying from a place of peace. Yeah. Because those debts, living like we had it together and we didn't, robbed us of joy, of peace, of trust, understanding, faith in each other, and to see that we can do this on one income where we are both in our passion places. I'm in a passion industry and I'm allowing God to continue journeying with me and growing me. He's in a passionate career he loves, still running a business on the side, just living passionate lives is so freeing. Yeah. To look at our Excel sheet and I'm not seeing red debt. As that
we are
was
creditors
such a
now.
yes, now we can give because the weight has been lifted so that we can be a blessing to others.
As we wrap up, I want to also say that this has not been GoForth only. In fact, GoForth has been a very small part. God has played the biggest part. And there are moments that you could just say, that was just by the hand of God. Which are those moments?
Let me start with your mindset could change. It could change, by the way. You could become a saver. You could, get the funds to invest. A lot could change, and you can live a very good financial life, but still be unhappy. Because it's, if I was to talk about it from a spiritual standpoint, it's what do you worship, right? The Bible talks about people stopping to worship the Creator and they worship the created. And I know people who have, wealth, lots of wealth, because they have been very good stewards, but it's not enough, and they're living even lesser quality life than people who have less, because that wealth has become a god or an idol for them. And the Bible is clear. Anything that takes your attention from God is an idol. And so as we were working on our mindset, and it's interesting that you've brought it up because I think we both got born again within a year of the meeting and when we started the journey with you. And so God was already a very active part of what was going on in our lives. God is a multiplier, right? I always really love that story of Jesus and the 5 loaves and 2 fish. Or is it the other way around? I always forget which one was which one.
It's 5 loaves
and 2 fish, right? And I heard a pastor talk about it the other day and say, Christ actually tested his disciples when he asked them, how are we going to feed these people, right? And I think it was Philip who said, but Master, all we have is 5 loaves and 2 fish, right? And he missed the moment there. Because the answer he should have said is, Master, we have 5 loaves and 2 fish. Believing and trusting because he is talking to God, in his, omnipotent way, the 5 loaves and 2 fish are going to feed these people. The Bible is clear. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can tell a mountain to move, right? And it will move. People always look at that verse and you think it's
a literal mountain.
Literal mountains. There are things in life that can only move by faith. Ours was one of those situations, right? Because of the holes that we had dug, not only financially, but mentally and in our relationship, the lack of trust, sinful existences, and so many deep things that even if we had sorted out the money, we would still be in trouble. So God heals holistically. That's the beauty of it. And I appreciate you saying that GoForth was a small part of it, because we have ended up enjoying the 5 loaves and 2 fish much more than we could have enjoyed if Christ was not a part of that process. He multiplied it, not only literally in the sense of this small amount of money ending up doing so much more, but our marriage has been strengthened. She talked about the kids, really understanding the transformation that has happened and appreciate even them themselves growing in that mindset. That's a multiplication, if you ask me. I was able to even influence my parents, who had been in debt almost 30 years, to start their debt clearance journey. And April this year, they paid the last debt, right? So you can see the ripple effect. And that's God. He is a multiplier. If you do it with him, my friend, you're going to be saying, people will be asking you how. You're like, I can't
describe it. It's God.
Yes, I can't fully explain. He unlocked new revenue opportunities during that same time.
Yeah.
I got I think I've gotten like 2-3 promotions. Three promotions during that same period. Yeah. No matter how much financial planning you're doing, you can't plan for a promotion.
No.
Right?
Or even a demotion.
Or a demotion, right? It's true. Or even a demotion, because God, and this is not my testimony to share, it belongs to somebody else. He actually prepares you even for that season. Yeah. And recently somebody shared with me that kind of a testimony where they had walked with God and went through this amazing financial journey. And then when life hit, when he was giving me the testimony, he was like, Alex, I think this is going to be the best thing that has happened to me.
Yeah. They cannot
because
have
it's unlocking this and this and that. That's God.
The God moment for me is, I will restore all the years that the locust and the cankerworms and the caterpillars ate. What we thought was 10 years of bad decisions that we were never going to recover from, God used GoForth to restore us. And when he says he restores, it means he stops time on your behalf. Where we could have been 10 years ago, he fast-tracked in 3. What we could have been doing 10 years ago, he fast-tracked in 3. And this part of the testimony of he will restore, not only does he restore financially, he restored my health. I regained my mental health. It was really bad the time we came to see you, because I felt like I had to be in that position. I had to be the one managing the money, holding the money, just in case we fall. And I was in a bad place mentally. And he has restored that tenfold. He has given us peace, that I'm able to be at home and watch my girls grow and minister and spend time with God and grow in ways I had never seen, that the world cannot even give me. It's restoring time we'd lost chasing the wrong things, restoring time with each other to just enjoy our marriage. restoring time with friends and family and my kids to just soak into their daily lives. And he restored in such a beautiful way that he says, even that you lost, I'm going to give it times 7.
Yeah.
And he has done it, because I don't know how we built this house. I can't tell you where the resources and the finances came from.
Yeah.
It only had to be God, that he strategically opened doors for us, strategically positioned people to help, to point us in the right direction, to give us grace like you did. Like, you gave us so much grace and told us it's okay. It's okay, keep going. And he restores.
Yeah.
All I can say is he's a God who restores, and he never goes back on his word. And for us, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
This place where we are in debt-free, children in an amazing curriculum. They didn't lose a term, they gained so much more. You should see their confidence and the way they've taken ownership of their learning process and their journeys in school and with people and relationships. He's restored tenfold. Yeah.
I know we would have so much to say, but one thing I say is, in the end, you're right. I agree 100%. God is God, and he has provided for us abundance. And one thing I've come to see with God is the day or the time that we let him be, he tells us that you have thoughts. You have thoughts about your life. You cannot imagine the thoughts I have about you.
Mm.
You have plans for your life. You can't imagine the plans I have for you. And I usually tell myself, God, thank you for also, for me, confirming to me that GoForth is truly not just a business for sitting down with clients, getting them out of debt. No, all for the glory of God. You know, you could be out there and you're just thinking, I am stuck in debt. I don't know what to do. I can't even pray. These people, by the time we were meeting, even by the time we were, meeting, none of us had any ministry of Christ.
Yes.
Now God has expanded you in a way that you can not only serve your people, your family, your community. Now you can even go and serve in his kingdom. And so I wish all the best for you. Thank you for trusting God and also trusting GoForth to be able to provide the services, and hope to see you next quarter.
See you then.
See you then.
Thank you so much for joining us for this amazing conversation. We could have gone. There's so much more. From how did they get out of debt, to how did they build a house when they're in debt, to how do you even speak to companies and tell them, this is the kind of pay I want and this is how we are going to do it, to being able to build businesses that are God-led with no shame and fear of even what people think. There's so much to speak about, and I pray that God may continue walking and working with you as he is walking and working with us. So thank you for joining GoForth. This is where we live, share, and thrive. See you next time.